Listen, I don't want to say that we're running out of ideas.
I think you kind of do.
Listen, I don't want to admit to the people that we're running out of ideas.
Okay.
But this week was a little different.
Okay. Why?
Well, I mean, normally we pick our own word.
Oh, true. It's not even that hard to do that. Why couldn't we pull that?
No,
out?
we have a list, and it's still hard to do.
We
have a list with words that we haven't used, and it's still difficult to pick which word we want to do.
We literally don't even have to think of it. We can literally just point to a word and do it, right?
Theoretically.
But we couldn't even do that this week.
No.
So what do we have to do?
And ask our wives. They always know what to do.
Because they're hot.
I mean, that's probably not why they always know what to do, but they are hot.
Yeah, my wife is hot.
That was an excellent non sequitur, Dan.
Yeah, awesome. Some would say she's bad.
Some would.
Mm-hmm.
What would others say?
Shimon. Because Michael Jackson, bad.
Him on whole wheat?
Yeah.
All right.
That's Michael Jackson. I was doing Weird Al. I know. You were doing fat. I was doing bad. Yeah. I hope you guys can actually hear this shit.
I don't.
Let's start the episode.
And away we go.
I'm Dan.
I'm Matt.
And what is this?
A show about baddies?
But what's it called?
Oh, right. Hangout.
With your slang out. What do you got for us today?
What do I got? Wait, what? Why am I setting up this episode?
Well, I guess technically neither one of us picked this episode, right?
True.
We passed the buck on this one, right?
We did.
Okay.
Should probably pass it more often.
You think so?
Really get us out of some trouble.
Well, do you think this will turn into a good episode?
I mean, it won't be a bad episode.
Well, no, I won't let it be a bad episode.
At the end of it, we won't be saying this is a baddie.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Will we say it's a goodie?
Yeah. Maybe.
What would be a sequel to that? Goody 2?
Goody 2 shoes?
Yeah.
Goody 2 shoes?
There's no Baddie 2 shoes, right?
Don't drink, don't smoke. What you doing? Don't drink, don't smoke.
Don't drink, I'll get you closer to God. Is that the lyric?
Awkward moments.
9-inch nails.
Hang out with your slang out. Yes, but don't. The other song, Goody Two Shoes, is not 9-inch nails. Just for those listening at home who are looking for it on every 9-inch nails album out there.
Yeah. But
I'm sure they do a fantastic version, but not theirs.
Well, I'm hoping to get this podcast.
Who did sing that song? Keep going.
I'm hoping we get this podcast to Baddie level. That's Baddie with D's, not T's, because we're crazy as bats as it is.
Yeah, we've already got Baddie covered.
Yep. Had that done.
Oh, right. Adamant. How could I have forgotten?
That was Adamant.
Goody Two Shoes? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd have never guessed that, dude.
I don't know how I forgot it.
I almost thought the original was done by a female.
You know what's frustrating about Adamant while we're on the topic?
God, there's so many jokes I could go there. But let's hear yours.
My frustrating thing is I know his name's not his real name. It can't possibly be.
Okay.
But it's kind of a fucking cool stage name. And he really dropped the ball on that. Like he did not have enough hits to back up how cool his name was.
Really? You liked Adamant?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's probably because it like sort of reminds me of Wolverine and his claws.
Adamantium. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just couldn't think of a good joke to go with that.
But I don't know. I've always thought that was like a cool stage name. I don't know why.
Yeah, Adamant stage name. I don't know.
Adamanthopoulos actual name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. The best stage name I can think of is
Billy Idol.
no. Well, yeah, we'll go with Billy Idol.
Michael Jackson.
No. It's not a stage name though.
I know.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper. I saw him. He lives here.
Yeah, I know. Did you see him since you moved here?
Oh yeah, because we went to see a show and
you went to see a show
and his son's band was playing,
Oh.
and then he's like, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Alice Cooper," and we didn't know this was his son's band at the time. And I'm 5 feet from the stage, and I'm like, "Shut up!" And then Alice Cooper walks out and sings 18, sounds just like the record. I'm like 5 feet from me. He's all, "Yeah, guys," and he walks back off stage, and I'm like, "What the hell did I just witness?" It's the coolest moment I've ever seen.
It's funny that you bring that up because Jesse played at the brewery yesterday, and
Jesse who?
Valenzuela of Gin Blossoms.
Valenzuela. I thought that was little Ricky La Bamba.
No, that's Richie Valens.
Ricky Valenzuela.
Richie Valens.
Anyways, back to Jesse the Body.
No, that's Ventura.
Oh. Pretty close, though.
Not Ventura County. Ventura City.
It kind of looked the same.
Anyways, so Jesse was playing, and he quite frequently, almost always brings his son, Gabriel, to play with him.
Mhm.
And he was telling me that Gabe just got back off a tour, and he had like toured California and up the coast and into Vancouver and then through and like down to Texas with his band. And I was like, wait, he has a band that like really tours and stuff?
Mhm.
That's cool. I thought he was just being nice and having his kid play along.
Yeah,
but no, his kid's actually a musician that tours and stuff. I didn't even dive further into that because I would have felt embarrassed asking, wait, you're actually in a band?
We should have been like, well, does he have anything out? Like,
I don't know.
An album?
Maybe I should follow him on the socials.
Yes. Stalk him.
Yeah.
You're a bad mamma jamma.
Now, see, that I can get behind.
Why can you get behind that? Not Baddie. Baddie will be our word, I think, this week.
Yeah, no, it will be our word this week. And I don't know that bad mamma jamma can be our word. Yeah, maybe.
Is bad mamma jamma okay, or is that not right to say anymore? Is there a little bit of...
Are you worried about it being confused with Aunt Jemima?
Wasn't until you said that.
Oh. Well,
Thanks,
here
man.
we are then, huh?
Yeah. Good stuff.
Okay.
9-inch nails.
Also, not the creators of Aunt Jemima.
How cool would that have been, though?
Right? Trent Reznor just slinging
that bottle
maple syrup.
That bottle of syrup would have looked a lot different.
Why is she not wearing any clothes?
Yeah, why is it a broken penis? Well, I
Jeez.
don't know. Why is it a freaking hypodermic needle?
Boy. Yeah, I don't know. Bad Mamma Jamma just reminds me of like, I don't know, 70s and 80s.
It kind of does. And
So
like,
it's cooler because by definition, everything was cooler then.
should we give the definition what a baddie is?
About five slam it. Sure.
Yeah, the word baddie, my son tends to use it a lot. But then again, I think a lot of people's sons do.
Before you get into the definition.
All right.
What do you think of when you think of it? Because I know what I think of when I think of it.
A baddie?
Yeah.
It depends on the context I heard it in. Like if you were to say, if me and you were just talking and I would be thinking, I don't know, the end boss at the end of a video game or something like that, right?
Right. So that's where my head's at.
Okay.
Like we would refer to them as big baddies.
Yeah.
Which now, when you know this definition, makes you really wonder why you were saying it in the first place. But it's not the point.
But honestly, I don't hear him get that in the video game terms. I don't hear it get referred to as baddie anymore, but I do hear it get referred to as the big bad for that level.
Oh, interesting. And there's a side note to that, which I think is that baddie in video game parlance, if you will, lines itself more with the video games that were more, for lack of a better word, cartoony.
Okay. I guess that
because baddie's sort of playful.
Yeah.
And so
that fits.
I don't think you would be, playing
Call of Duty
Under Siege or something like
Yeah.
that, or whatever. Something Siege. What's that? Tom Clancy?
No, you're right. Under Siege. But
You sure that it was Under Siege?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that's a movie with what's his name?
with
Steven Seagal.
Steven Van Damme.
Not the point. The point is, I don't think that you would have called an end boss in those the baddie.
Yeah,
But like in Nintendo style games, you would probably call
okay.
that
I see that.
Like Bowser's a baddie.
Yeah, and actually, I think I've heard that before. It just I think it's the way it's put in context, because if you hear my son say it, you know exactly what he's saying. He's obviously talking about an attractive female. On Urban Dictionary, I think that's what it refers to as well, as a woman who can hold her own and take care of herself. She's very pretty and independent. Or a baddie is a bad girl who is always on fleek. We haven't done on fleek yet. I guess we should do that. Slaying the game.
The first definition seems a lot more complimentary than when I generally hear people use the term baddie. Now, maybe they mean that as an undertone, and I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I've heard people say baddie, I don't get all those flowery, wonderful terms.
A baddie is a girl who is super attractive, and I have to admit, I think it falls under a little bit. I don't want to throw the term out like sexist, like men, women.
It's not that.
Yeah, but it's in the same vein of like if a guy's having, when they use the word fire, or like he says that slaps, it's just another thing of saying that's a hot girl and she's the hottest girl here, a baddie. And I thought it actually worked both ways, but looking it up, it doesn't. There kind of isn't. I think the term for male that I could find online when I was searching for that is laddie.
Oh,
isn't that the dumbest thing in the world?
I do not like that at all.
Yeah, it was laddie, or there's actually a whole Reddit thing on what's the male equivalent of calling a female a baddie, and laddie comes up, or a chad.
Ugh.
And I need to discover the whole chad thing, because I've heard my daughter and her best friend, I think they referred to that in our podcast that they had done earlier, an episode called Thought, where they took over the mics, and they mentioned chad because they were trying to think of a word for thought for men.
Right, but it seemed more insulting. Like, I don't think baddie's insulting.
No, I don't think it's meant to be. It is coming from a kind
also,
of
do you think chad comes from the whole election thing?
I think we talked about this before, not on the podcast, but yeah, like explain that. Like,
well, shit, what election was it? It was one of the W elections, right?
Yeah,
and there was the votes in Florida, and there was a hanging chad.
Mm-hmm.
And does that mean then, did they take that term and flip it to basically, well, chad's well hung?
I've known many chads, and none of them have been well hung.
How many chads have you checked? You know what? It's not important. It's not for the podcast.
Well, I've got what a chad is now.
Oh, that would be a hanging chad for sure. Whoop. The region between the balls and the arsehole can be an erogenous zone for some. Huh.
So, listeners, we've been told we should be doing this on YouTube so people could see our responses and our reactions.
It's never been more accurate than this episode.
Yeah, if you'd have saw our reactions, we both looked probably like...
Also, isn't that the taint?
That's what we used to call it, the ABC connection. The ass to ball connection, the taint.
That's funny.
You never heard the ABC connection?
No, but you shouldn't say
other
ABC
than the song,
connection. Shouldn't it just be ABC?
Well, I guess, yeah.
All right. I'm just saying, maybe don't say C and then say connection if C stands for connection.
Ass to ball connection, ABC.
Yeah, but you kept saying ABC connection.
Because did I?
Yeah, so then it's the ass to ball connection.
That's the song they sing for the intro for the ass to ball connection.
It could be.
It was on Sesame Street.
It could be B2B, butt to balls.
Butt to balls. That's too. Well, we got way off a baddie right there, didn't we? Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Chad.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish you could see our faces right now. We both went from looked like maybe we just tasted something that tasted like feet to absolutely
not those good kind of feet.
To, I don't know about him, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty embarrassed that I was saying ass to ball connection more than it needed to be said.
You did say it a lot.
Yeah. Should I say it one more time?
No, please don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So have you used the term?
No, I think it's too new. Like, I could use it now that I know what it stands for. I'd say my wife's a baddie.
Yeah, my wife's a baddie too.
We actually, I think, said that as we were walking in here.
Yeah. It still feels weird to say.
Yeah, it feels like one of those words that doesn't belong to us. Like
I think that's the one thing we've kind of realized about slang is like if the slang is not of your necessary era,
mhm,
it
doesn't fit, man.
no, it feels weird to say it. You feel a little unclean.
And that's one of those words I think you have to be young and you have to say it in a way.
Why can't we just say Stone Cold Fox?
I think when you're at that age, when you're young enough, and these are your words, you say it with confidence because so you carry that. We say it, it sounds super awkward,
Super forced.
yeah. But I just want to make sure my wife heard that she's a baddie.
I as well.
Okay, that my wife's a baddie.
No, that my wife is also
Okay.
a baddie.
And we literally have proof. Is this we're filming this about a week after Halloween, and both of our wives were out on the deck dressed as very pretty witches, I would guess, doing trick or treaters.
Also, a witch would kind of be a baddie, right?
Could be.
Like both literally and figuratively.
And one of our new neighbors, because we just recently moved to the new destination we're at,
Resident Russian hitman who does workouts in his front yard.
sans sleeves. He has no sleeves.
No
But he
shirt,
has-
no sleeves, no problem.
Has his camouflage booty shorts on though. I mean, I don't know what that's about, but he came over, introduced himself.
Slid right into their DMs,
Yep, and was
but not really because
and it got real awkward real quick. I got to hear it in the background, but to hear him obviously go after our
Ooh.
two baddies.
and he did. And I think I have a new nickname for him. I think I'm going to stop calling him a Russian hitman because I don't believe that he could actually do that. I think I'm going to start calling him Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo. I was hoping you're gonna like put something there with Chad. He's kind of a Chet to me. Anybody seen Weird Science? They know what I'm saying. That's exactly who that guy is. He's Chet. But now, oh my God.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to turn into a steaming pile of garbage.
He did that night.
I meant literally.
Yeah.
You mean figuratively.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, he hit on our wives in front of us. Well, I guess he didn't know we were there. I know I was there, but they politely moved him along. And but you know, that happens when you're married to attractive women. So story of my life, dude.
Good thing they never have to put up with that, right?
Mm-hmm. My wife never has to put up with that. Well, one, because I'm completely oblivious to it. It's actually happened. I've been hit on in front of her by somebody, and I didn't realize it was happening. It was even happening in front of my brother, and he was like, dude. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And my wife was like, dude. So I was like, why am I in trouble? I'm just existing. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah. And that's your fault.
But my wife, actually, she got hit on literally in an elevator at her sister's wedding at the Bally's in Vegas. Literally me standing side by side, a guy got in an elevator and hit on her in front of me. And I'm literally holding her hand standing there. And I'm like, dude, I am right here. And you are literally hitting on my wife. It was pretty.
I still think you had a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, Jesus. That was awkward.
Ouch. Such a Chet. Such a Chet. Anyways, our neighbor's a Chet. Long story short.
He's a chat.
And our wives are baddies. Hey, that's 3 times, ladies. Just keep that. You just keep count.
Keep score.
Yeah. Christmas is coming up.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's not a word for us. We could say it, but we're gonna just come off really lame.
No, and if you asked me to name like my favorite baddies, I would say Bowser, Dr. Robotnik.
He's a good baddie.
He's a good baddie.
Yeah.
What would be the third?
The alligators from Pitfall.
No, I think Donkey Kong. He was sort of OG baddie, right?
Yeah. Baddie and a goodie.
Yeah. He's done both. He's a reformed monkey.
He was the first what was the anti-hero?
He's
He's the first anti-hero.
He's a born again, not so bad guy.
Guess who's getting the cover of this thing? It's Donkey Kong.
I hope so.
Yeah. Cover of this episode.
Maybe Donkey and Diddy. Who knows?
Did
Not a fan of Diddy?
He's all right. He was a little.
Did you like him more when his name was Puffy?
What? Oh. At least he didn't go crazy and like change his name to Lion or whatever Snoop Dogg did. Snoop
Lion.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, Snoop. You're a baddie. You see how that didn't sound right?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. But you can be damn sure that he would call Martha Stewart a baddie.
Martha Stewart is a baddie on all fronts. Literally went to jail for being a baddie. Literally went to jail for stuff that people are not going to jail for right now. That did shit 10 times worse than she ever did.
Good news. Martha Stewart could be president.
Maybe she should be. I vote for Dolly Parton.
Oh, for president.
Yes. I vote for Dolly Parton for anything. She's become like the ultimate baddie on any level you can think of because she doesn't deal with anybody's bullshit. She talks through all the crap that has been recent in these last 5 or 6 years. And she can write a hell of a song, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, why not just vote for Sinbad or Martin Sheen?
Well, Sinbad actually has baddie in his name, so
Sinbad.
And he's a clean comic. We like those.
He's a clean comic.
Yeah. Never said a bad word once.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, in this day and age, that's weird.
It's hard to be a clean comic. I mean, it's so easy to not do that. Even just once in a while, but to do that at all times and be super funny. My favorite comic right now, Nate Bargatze's. He's my favorite. He's a clean comic. He just hosted Saturday Night Live.
Oh.
And we went and saw him. He was here in Phoenix like a month ago, 2 months ago. It's really funny. Met his dad and everything. His dad's a baby angel, by the way. Sweetest man I've ever met.
He's a baby angel.
Yeah. Next to you.
He's not next to me.
Mm-hmm. He's in my heart. He's always next to you. So back to Baddie. Not a word for us.
Not a word for us. We shouldn't use it. No, probably won't use it. Jaden has used it.
And I think, depending on how you're doing it, it can come off as sexist, but I also think it can come off as playful and like, well, kind of a complimentary.
I was leading to the fact that I'm almost positive I've heard girls use it for other girls.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I could see that happening. Has Tyler done that? Like you're hyping your girl up?
Yeah, I think when she's done it, it's been a little more joking. But
mm-hmm.
but I feel that I've heard it used that way, in which case I don't want to say that it stops making it sexist, but it softens the corners a little bit and makes it more acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
I think at that point, then it just gets to inflection. I think that there's a way that a guy says it that just sounds slimy and gross.
Yeah, and we're pretty good at that.
Oh, yeah. We are the slimiest and grossiest.
Yeah.
Wait, grossiest? Yeah, that's probably right.
That sounds like a word I would have came up with.
It does sound like
grossy. That'd be grossiest or something like
yes.
that. Yeah, because I'm not correct.
You're the correctless or something.
9-inch nails.
You can't just keep saying 9-inch nails.
Stop. That's all it's going to be. I'm not even going to say anything. It's just going to be me saying 9-inch nails. All right.
Maybe that's what we should do in all episodes. We just say a band and one of their hits, and
then we end it.
And see if the listens spike by about 30 to 40 that week on that song.
Shit, what if that happened, man?
That'd be crazy, right? All of our listeners just listen to that song.
It'd be bad. It'd be badass.
See, badass. I get that.
Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't have referred to a girl with I wouldn't have said she was a badass. Well, unless she like just kicked somebody's ass. But
I'm saying, like
for a hot girl, I wouldn't say badass.
No.
But oh yeah, there's plenty of badass chicks.
I mean, I feel like the term bad has been used in that respect in our era.
It's so funny how bad goes to good. Right? And back to bad. All
right. Top couple of comic book baddies.
Ooh.
And you can take that either way, whether you're talking about well-drawn female comic book character or actual
like the bad guys from like we were talking earlier.
Because I also do feel like they were referred to as baddies, right?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Oh yeah. I guess, yeah. Oh Jesus. I don't know. You see, you just flicked my nerd switch on. So now I'll be here for like an hour just running the numbers of like why that's the best baddie. Oh man. It's gonna be a minute.
Okay.
I'll make this simple. DC Comics, Darkseid, best bad guy.
Okay.
Marvel Comics, I don't know if he's the best bad guy, but shit, I don't know. I'll pick this guy because he's real popular right now. We'll say Venom from Marvel. pretty fun comic or pretty fun bad guy.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And we'll go with those because I mean, there's just so many bad guys I could pick, like the Joker and all that stuff.
So you're going to go with those instead of well-drawn female comic book characters.
A baddie, there's nobody better than Wonder Woman.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Like if I had to pick like my first comic book crush, it was probably like when you're like young and before you actually get into real women, like it would have been her.
Mine was super off the board.
Okay. Don't say like Alvin and the Chipmunks or
No.
something.
No. That's
It was Garfield.
That's ridiculous.
It was Heathcliff. Or
Susie from Calvin and Hobbes.
He's not lying.
No, as far as comic book characters are concerned, Psylocke
Oh,
from X-Men.
yes. She is literally.
Also, there was a weird, like, horribly inappropriate time in our history where there were like swimsuit issues of comic book characters
still-
that
they're
Marvel
still-
were doing.
There still
Marvel was
are.
doing? Oh, they're still doing those?
Yeah, but her costume alone is like a Brazilian bathing suit because
Yeah.
she was. I mean, I want to say she was invented in that time, but her character was a little sexist. But if you get past that and learn about the character, she's actually a very deep character who is not that. It's just
She's both a baddie and a badass.
yes, she's one of the best X-Men bad guys. So, but that happens to all of them on every level and still happens. So we got that going for us
Which is nice.
because it revolves around men or pigs,
Yeah. I mean,
and they get us young. Little boys are pigs too.
listen, the
Little
comic book companies knew how to make money.
Mm-hmm. But I used to. That was the thing I wanted to be, was a comic book artist, and you have to learn how to draw the forms like that. And obviously, when you're a horny teenager, then drawing hot chicks is appealing. But if you look at the guys, most of them are drawn the same way in completely skin tight stuff with their units hanging out. But that doesn't nobody ever goes after that. Now, are they prominently displayed as much as the women? No. And a lot of the women's poses in comics, especially
Well, and
20, 30 years ago, were pretty bad, some of them.
and the text definitely leads to thinking of the women in that way, whereas the text, the speech, if you will, the actual body of the comic book does not lead you to think of the men that way. They just happen to be dressed that way.
Yeah. But there's a lot of women comic book nerds now. There's a lot that caters to both sides now. So, but I think that will always be. There'll always be that kind of crappy tint because of who it's being drawn for mostly. But I love them women nerds. I'm glad they.
Now we're talking comic bad guys. I think for Marvel, mine would be Sabretooth.
Well, what's her name? She's Marvel as well. Psylocke was.
Yeah, but she was both bad and good at different points. Like she was part of the X-Men for a while too.
Yeah. So you're like an X-Men guy, huh?
Yeah, that was probably the one that I got most into. I mean, as far as Marvel was concerned, which I think is why I'm more sad that they do such a bad job with the X-Men movies. But
yeah, they have a lot of bad guys to pick from too.
mhm.
The X-Men.
And for DC, what was Brainiac would probably be my
Brainiac's a good one.
DC bad guy.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why
I think in part for that one, that's because the guy that played him in Smallville did a really good job.
Really?
Yeah.
You liked him? Nice. Honestly, in DC, if I don't want to lean into this nerdy stuff too much. Darkseid's the big.
Yes, you do.
He's the big bad. But who's the most famous bad guy in DC? It's obviously the Joker. He is just as iconic as Batman.
Is it the Joker or Lex Luthor?
I would say the Joker.
But what I'm saying is, like, I don't think they're as far away as you would think they are.
I think if you could put a picture of the Joker up immediately, even a little kid is going to know who that is. You put a picture up of all the different versions of a bald guy, they're not going to get that unless they follow Superman.
Oh, you're saying they're going to say Kingpin?
I think they're just going to be like, that's not a bad guy.
Yeah. What about Two-Face?
Would you call me?
You heard me.
This podcast is over. Again.
For the very first time.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Oh, man, that was such a good line from Hey Dude.
Where's my car? Was it that movie?
No.
All right.
Television show. Hey, dude. It's just extra funny. Ben Stiller, not in that show. His wife, yes, in that show.
Splitting hairs.
Who knew?
Yeah. So I think we figured out neither one of us are baddies, right?
Neither one of us are baddies. No.
We're not Chads at least, though, right?
Depends on the day.
I guess every now and then we're an ass to ball connection. Right? Wasn't that's what they said that was, is the taint? The taint. I'm so flustered I couldn't even say taint right.
Yeah, I don't know that you'd want to anyway.
Should we do an episode on taint?
I don't know. I don't know if we can put together 30 minutes on wanting to throw up.
Imagine the cover art.
Let's not.
Right. Well, I will refuse from using baddie other than when we talk about it like this.
Okay.
Because unless I'm talking about my wife, that's 4 times, ladies. She's a baddie. It's 5.
You can't just keep saying it.
I'm going to say it and I'm going to count it for
like
her.
You're some sort of baddie Tommy Governor or something like that.
Baddie. Yeah. Silly word, fun word. If it's done right, at least it's not too repulsive, right?
I like that it's a word that even though I know that I can't use it, if I hear a kid say it, I know what they're referring to.
Yeah, I think
I don't feel like I'm lost in the dark when they say it, like some of the words we've gone through.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I think that'll stick with a lot of our listeners. Well, listeners our age. The young listeners, that the tons of them we have, they're laughing at us right now.
And I do, listeners, if you run into this at all, and just give us a breakdown of how the whole scene presented itself. But if you run into anybody like 50 plus years of age that happens to refer to somebody as a baddie, we'd really like to hear that story.
Yes, we would. Unless you're trying to get like a husband or something, or a wife,
or a husband wife.
Yeah. If that's your game, get what you got to get. Is that a sugar daddy? Sugar mama?
Sugar baddie?
Sugar baddie. Oh, hashtag sugar baddie.
I think we just coined a new term.
Yep. Sugar baddie. Sugar baddie. It writes itself.
It does. That's why they actually had it as a hit.
Let's take
they had to write it. It would have been hot garbage. But
let's take it to Jesse, see if he can write up a song. Sugar baddie.
I think that's a cool new term. And if somebody doesn't pick up on it, like I almost want to sick. I want to sick Jaden out on the world. Be like, go find yourself a sugar baddie because we need to coin this phrase. I need you to find a attractive young woman that has enough money to not need you.
What if he already knows it though? Like, what if it's already a thing? When I go, you got to go find a sugar baddie, and he's all like,
what if it is a real thing?
And he's like, I don't want to date no old lady. He'd be like, oh shit, we'll try it. I don't think
it has to be an old lady. I mean, it could be an old lady.
It could be an old dude too, I guess.
No, that's not the point I'm making.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
But the point I'm making is that the person doesn't need to be older. Sugar just refers to having the money to take care of you.
Yeah, somebody older.
That's not necessarily true.
Well, I don't want him dating like a 10-year-old.
Listen,
got
just
lots of
because
money.
you want him dating Paris Jackson, who would probably be a sugar baddie.
She's of age.
Yeah, but she's older than he is.
Is she? Probably not by a little bit, right?
Yeah, 25.
Well, that's not bad. He likes girls that are like 23 or 24. He's always dating up.
Good for him,
All right. Sugar baddie. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah. So I'd tell our listeners to use it, but you're probably old enough that you shouldn't be using it either.
We're going to
find somebody to use
We're going to put that on our shirt. Sugar baddie.
We can put that on shirts for girls and we can sell them to girls.
Sugar Maddie?
No.
Hashtag Sugar Maddie or hashtag Sugar Danny? What do you got, people?
Gross.
Real gross. I think I'm done.
Yeah, I think that I am never going to be able to use this microphone again.
Mm-hmm.
It has been defiled.
Defiled? 9-inch nails. Right?
I don't know. Is it?
Come on, Trent. If there's any baddie men out there, it's you.
Sure about that?
I don't know. All right, so I'm Sugar Dan.
Apparently I'm Sugar Matt.
And if only we could meet Sugar Ray, things would be great.
Leonard?
Sure.
Robinson?
Sure. Just keep them coming.
The band?
Yeah. Come on. What's his name?
Mark McGrath.
Come on, Mark McGrath. Give us a call.
Did I actually get that name out of nothing?
Yeah, you did that pretty well. He's your boy.
No, he's not.
This is all just
I'm actually
a practice.
required by law to refer to him as Mr. McGrath, but for the episode.
Yeah. This is all just a trial run to get him into the episode so they can start the Sugar Baddie podcast. Starring Mark McGrath and Matthew Kean.
So many.
With sound effects by Sugar Danny.
Toot, 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 toot.
All right, this is Hang Out with Your Slang Out. Follow us wherever you can find us. Stalk us on all our socials. And please hashtag Sugar Daddy.
Tell other people to stalk us on their socials.
Hashtag Sugar Baddie. There we go. I said Sugar Daddy. I was going the wrong way.
Hashtag Sugar Baddie.
All right, we'll catch you next time. Thank you, baddies and goodies.
Snitchy booches. So we did,
or last time.
Right. So we did comic books. And because I feel like we've missed this on a couple episodes, I feel I would be remiss if we didn't try to figure out Simpsons baddies.
That's a good one because they have 2 or 3 iconic bad guys on The Simpsons. It has to be Mr. Burns, right? He's the Lex Luthor.
Fat Tony's right up there.
I don't remember Fat Tony.
Fat Tony is the mobster.
What about Abu?
Huh?
What about Abu?
Apu?
What did I say? Abu? It's Abu, right?
Apu.
I will go to the internet again, dude. No, you're right. I don't have to look that up. What am I doing?
I don't even know why we're having this conversation.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Anyways, my favorite line of his, because it's so good, is you have 24 hours to get us the monies. To show you we're serious, you have 12. It's my favorite line that I have used repeatedly in my life.
Really?
Yeah, that might be one of my favorite Simpsons lines ever.
Nice.